Okay, here we go. So we are here. We have Delta Mouse for homework, and test corrections are due tonight. So if you want to get some test correction points, get those done after school. Here we go. We are on 11.4, perimeter and areas of irregular shapes. So we want to be able to find perimeters and areas of all kinds of figures. And so as a review, I'm not going to find the area, but let's just write down the formulas again so that they're easy. And in fact, I'm going to include rhombus. All right. What is the area of a square? Area of a square. How do we find the area of a square? Area of a square. Area of a square. Side squared. Side squared. Area of a rectangle.
Oh, we're doing
that. An area of a rectangle with a base and a height. What's the area of a rectangle? Base times height. Okay. Parallelogram, again, has a base and a perpendicular height. This is important when we define base and height. They are always perpendicular to one another. The area of a parallelogram is also simply base times height. What about the area of a triangle? Thank you. 1/2 base times height. Again, when we have those things, the height is perpendicular, the base is the whole length of the base, and it doesn't matter particularly at all. You might have a crazy shaped obtuse triangle. The base is B and the height is still perpendicular to the base, okay? So keep that in mind. The area of a triangle is always 1/2 base times height, and height is always straight up and down perpendicular. Very important. Area of a trapezoid. Trapezoids have a perpendicular height, but they have a base 1 and a base 2. What do we need to do for the area of a trapezoid? So what we have to do is take the average of the bases. So one way to think about it is base 1 plus base 2 over 2. We have to add, and what we're doing is finding the average base, the base that's in between the two, the short one and the long one, okay? And that's giving us the average base. And then just like base times height, we multiply it by height, okay? So really it's the average of the bases times the height. And a rhombus was that sort of crazy kite shape. And for the rhombus, we can look at the diagonals of the rhombus. And what was the formula for rhombus, the area of a rhombus?
Oh.
From yesterday.
1/2.
1/2?
1/2 times D1 times D2.
Diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. It's half the product of the diagonals. So easy formulas.
What's diagonal 1 going to?
The diagonals of the rhombus. They'll give them to you if you see that. So just the diagonals. There we go. Okay, so we have basically area and perimeter puzzles today, and it's really important that y'all are reading the directions today. I know reading is hard, but we want to find the area. So make sure that you think through. Now, I see 2 shapes here. How are we going to find the area of this shape? What do you see? A trapezoid? Okay, the area of the trapezoid. So look bigger. Do you see the trapezoid?
Yeah.
Okay, the area of the trapezoid. And what else do we have? A half circle. Yes. All right. So we want to find the area of the trapezoid and the half circle. What is the area of a circle?
360.
No. What is the area formula for a circle? pi r squared. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Okay, the area of the trapezoid is the sum of the bases. So the parallel sides are the bases. So we're going to have 13 plus 10, the top and the bottom parallel sides, over 2, and times our perpendicular height. What's our perpendicular height? 12. Okay, so that's the area of our trapezoid. And then we need to add the area of half a circle. So that's going to be half of the area of a circle, pi, radius squared. Ladies and gentlemen, what is our radius on that circle? 5. Very good. 10 is what? The whole diameter from side to side is the 10. So our radius is 5. So do be a little bit careful there. And so we can type this in, I believe. So we have 13 plus, I'm just going to do 23 over 2. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, is that a little easier? Times 12 plus 0.5 times pi times, can I just do 25? Okay, lots of ways to type this in. You do need to understand how your calculator is going to do the math, though. So 177 point, I'm going to go 3 if we're rounding to the 10th place. Okay, units squared. Okay. All right, in letter B, what two shapes do we have? What's this shape? Parallelogram. The area of a parallelogram plus, what else? Half of a circle. All right, so the area of a parallelogram is simply base times height. What's the base? 20. Yes, it does transfer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so the base is 20. And what's our height?
7.
Height is always perpendicular, so you got to find those perpendicular pieces, so 7. And then half a circle again. So we're going to do 1/2 times the area of the circle, and again, the area of the circle is pi radius squared. So again, what is our radius of our circle here?
What's the whole radius?
The diameter is 8. Again, numbers transfer here, so this 8, the whole thing is 8. Which means our radius is 4, okay? So pay close attention, take a moment to really look at your picture. All right, so I have, so I just want to go through, 20 times 7 is 140. And then what is 4 squared? 16. What's half of 16? 8. So you can clean this stuff up really easily. And it's important to be able to do that. So it's really just 140 plus 8 pi, which would be 165.1 units squared. All right, questions so far? All right, let's look at C and D. On letter C here, what do you see for letter C? A rectangle. Okay, I sort of see a rectangle here, yes.
Like a carved out half circle.
A carved out. So we have the area of a rectangle, but do we want to add the circle or? Yeah, we have to remove the half circle. So how do we remove something? Subtract it, okay? So the area of a rectangle is base times height. So what's our base? 11. Again, that 11 transfers top and bottom. So the base is 11, and the height is 6. Now we're removing this circle, so we have to subtract that. So we're going to remove half the area of the circle, which again is pi radius squared. What's our radius?
6. Oh, never mind, 3.
3, very good. This whole side is 6. The diameter is 6, but our radius is 3. So that's pi times radius of 3 squared. All right, so that would be 66 minus 3 squared is 9. What's half of 9?
3. No.
4.5. All right, so we have 66 minus 4.5 pi, and I get 51.8. 51.8. Oh, no. 51.9. Thank you. Yeah. 51.9. I looked again there. Look at that. That's a 6 telling me to round up. Okay. 51.9. All right. Letter D. Find the area. What are you thinking for this one? Square. And plus what? 4 half circles. Interesting. Okay. Oh, because 4 halves is really just 2. So 2 circles. Very good. So when I look here, I see a half and a half. That's going to make a whole circle. And down here we have a half and a half, and again makes a whole circle. So area of a square?
Squared.
8 squared. Side times side. Both of these are 8. All right. And then we want 2 areas of the circle. So 2 pi radius squared. What's our radius?
8. Oh, 4. Do that
Every time. All right. The whole side is 8. Our radius is equal to 4. So we have, again, I'm going to do the math because 8 squared is 64. 4 squared is?
16.
16 times 2? 32 pi. Very good. And again, I like doing this. This is a beautiful exact answer, and it's really easy. So we could leave that as a great answer. 164.5 rounded to the nearest 10. All right, questions on these? Okay, very good. Turn the page. Perimeter. Again, thank you for reading the directions. Very good. All right. So, again, very important to pay close attention. Perimeter means what?
Outside.
Add the outside. Outside length. Add it up, okay? So, what we would like to do here, looking at this first one, I have this side of 16. I have a side of 4. What's this side?
16.
16. And then, ooh, what's this? How do we get the length around a circle? What is that called? Circumference, yes. Circumference of a circle is fancy for perimeter. What is the formula for the circumference of a circle? 2 pi r. Okay, so we do need the circumference of a circle on occasion here. So we have these 3 sides, and then this is half of a circle. So we have half of the circumference, so half of 2 times pi times, what is our radius? 2. R equals 2. All right, so there's our radius right there. So I'm just labeling my picture, and then I can add the perimeters all together. So we have 2 16s plus a side of 4. And what happens with the 1/2 times 2?
1.
So it's just 1. Okay, so then we're just left with 2 pi. All right, so we have 32 plus 4 plus 2 pi And I get 42.3 for perimeter. I don't think I need to do B. That's kind of the same thing. Let's look at, do I need to do C?
No.
I don't think so either. Let's look at D. Let's look at D and then call it good. That was really fast. Never mind. We do have time to do it, but that's okay. That's okay. I won't do it. Okay. Let's see. I have a 15. And what's down here?
Couldn't that, like, other circle just fit in there? Like,
It's true, but we are finding perimeter. So what is this and this part together?
yeah, maybe we could just do that.
Isn't it?
It'd just be 15 squared plus 10 squared.
Well, it should just be the regular rectangle because we can move that little half.
So you're thinking, okay, so I see what you're saying. If you were to cut this semicircle off, right, and then we could just move it over here and it'd fill in, which would be a great thing to do if we were finding area. But we're not finding the area of this figure. We want the distance it takes to walk around the edge of this figure, which is kind of weird. So I'm going to walk 15, let's say, inches, and then I have to traverse, what is this? Circumference. All right, so I have to traverse half of the circumference. So 2 times pi times what's my radius? R equals 5. Okay, so I have to traverse half a circle. And then I'm going to walk 15 feet. And then I have to traverse what? More circumference, right? Okay, so I'm still walking the edge of my circle. I need another half of the circumference, which again is half of 2 times pi times r. All right, so again, we're talking about walking the distance, traveling that edge of the circle, so we have to be using circumference. If you take half circumference and half circumference, what is that? It's the whole entire circumference, okay? So we have 15, perimeter equals 15, plus another 15, and we have that half circumference, which I'm just going to write 10 pi, and another half of circumference, but that's just really whole circumference, right? So 30 plus, what's 1/2 and 1/2? 1 whole? Yeah. So 30 plus 10 pi, if we were to clean that up, but you can just use your calculator if you want to. Let's see, so 30 plus 10 times pi is 61.4 feet, maybe. Okay. What is half of 10? 5 pi. And what's half of 10? 5 pi, and 5 pi and 5 pi makes 10 pi. Okay, so lots of ways to do that math. Okay. All right, do you have questions for me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, be careful. I will release the Zelta math.